I wear a size 13 men's shoe in Nikes. You think you have it bad? And I'm sitting there like, people are dying, Jodi. Hi, what's up? It's Kendall here. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're not new around here, what is up, home skillet biscuit? I really love bad movies, like really bad movies. Arguably bad movies are significantly better than actually good movies. So like when I see the trailer for like a particularly horrid looking movie, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking the day out for that one. So a few weeks ago, when everyone on Twitter was tagging me in the trailer for Tall Girl on Netflix, one of Netflix's newest teen dramedies, I guess. It's not dramatic enough to be considered a drama, and it's not funny enough to be considered a comedy, so I don't know what you call it. And I'm pretty sure that the reason why everyone wanted me to watch it is because I'm a tall girl. So watching a movie called Tall Girl, people were curious, like, hey, Kendall, what are your thoughts? Lo and behold, here we are, and I figured, hey, I'm just gonna do a video, I do my makeup, talking about how this movie was so bad that it wasn't even good. Like, and if at any point you're curious about what I'm using, that'll be down in the description box. So like I said, people were tagging me in this movie, and I immediately knew this was going to be some tomfoolery, some shenanigans. So let's start off with just a quick summary of the movie. Spoiler alert, there will be spoilers. I mean, is it spoilers? When you watch a movie like this, they tend to be incredibly predictable. So it's like, are you shocked that this is how it ended up? Probably not, but spoilers nonetheless. So this movie centers around Jodi. Jodi is a high school junior in a school in Louisiana, New Orleans more specifically. Shout outs, that's where my dad's peoples are from. And Jodi is smart, she's bookish, she's introspective and, you know, deep and all that. She is also the school's main pariah, apparently, due to her exceedingly unheard of height of 6'1". Her family consists of her parents, her dad, who is a complete douche nugget, who has some weird concerns about her being tall or something. Like, it's like literally that there's a health issue with her being 6'1". Then there's her mom, who is kind of just like, oh, let her live, like she's not perfect, but whatever. And then her sister, who is supposed to be the perfect sister, she wins pageants, she's normal height, whatever. Jodi at school is seen largely as a social pariah. She stands out, and apparently the only thing that makes her a social pariah is her height, which again, she's 6'1". She's pretty much isolated to have only two friends, one of which is a black girl that I didn't catch her name. I don't even know if they said it in the movie. But she's like colorful and eccentric, fashionista, full of nothing but cheesy punchlines and cheer up quotes. She's a very poorly written character and it bothers me, but I digress. One day you're gonna wake up and love all 73 inches of yourself, Jodi.
You're gonna stand up and say, I love all 73 inches of myself.
And she's also friends with a dorky short dude named Dunkelman, who makes it no secret that he is in love with Jodi. He's very much so, very complimentary. He does not hide it. He's like, I want her. I'm ready to climb her like a tree, Mount Everest. That part is pretty accurate. Not gonna lie, that part was pretty accurate. Though Dunkelman has been largely attracted to her and been very open and proudly so, she's not interested in him because he's short. That too is pretty accurate. She wants a guy that's taller than her. In comes the new Swedish exchange student by the name of Stig, and he is the only boy in the school, apparently, that is over 6'1". So naturally, Jodi's targets are locked. She says, this is the one I want. I want him for no other reason than he's tall, but girl, I've been there. So that one's probably the most accurate part of this movie. But she has prime competition. That person is Kimmy, the most popular girl in school, and ultimately one of, Jodi's original tormentors, quote unquote. Basically, she's one of those very like flat, poorly written bullies in teen dramas who's just like has nothing else better to do but to poorly torment, like not even like good jokes. about her height, and she effectively proves to be the main source of Jodi's ostracization. Is that a word? The reason why nobody like her. Kimmy puts her sights out for the new exchange student because he's hot. Anyway, the rest of the movie is pretty cut and dry. Blah, blah, blah. Learning to love yourself. Not judging a book by its cover. Everything that you thought you wanted might not be as great as the things that were always there right in front of you. Big speech about loving yourself at homecoming, even though she walked in the ugliest outfit I've ever seen in my life. This is completely off topic. They had her making a speech about how much she loved herself, but she came in a blue suede suit and some 2003 platform glitter heels and a pirate neck. Girl, this is so ugly, and you expect people to listen to your speech. Oh, that's so ugly. Oh my God. Oh, they making way. Oh gosh. Oh no. When you come in looking like Liberace and Prince had a baby. So you're probably like, Kendall, yeah, it sounds like a pretty corny movie, but like, what is irritating you so much about the movie? Like, what is it particularly that's just like grinding your gears? Well, honestly, there's a few things. One, I'm a tall woman, so I'm basing this like portrayal of a tall woman off of my experiences and ultimately the experiences of all the women in my house. I come from a very tall family. My sister is 6 foot tall. My mother is 6 foot tall. And I too am 6 foot tall. After showing my mother and my sister the trailer for this movie, we all said at the same time, completely and utterly unprovoked, they acting like that and she's 6'1". The main issue I have with this movie, other than it just being bad, just in general, like from just a writing standpoint. In order for this movie to be a thing, for you to make a whole movie where the sole reason why a tall, thin, conventionally pretty white woman is the main and most oppressed person in the school is that you had to make literally a scenario that would not exist or is very unlikely to exist. I've kind of alluded to this, but she's 6'1". That ain't that tall. I mean, it's tall. Don't get me wrong. It's like objectively pretty tall. But it's not like you've never seen a 6 foot tall person before. But the way they're acting, like the people at this school are like, oh my God, we're all severely dwarfed under her. Cause she's just this towering Amazon warrior. Fee, fi, fo, fi. She's 6'1". Like, I would understand it more if she were so tall that it would be abnormal for either the boys or the girls in the school, but you're 6'1", a junior in high school. Y'all don't have a basketball team? In order to make her appear to be more of a freak and an abnormality, they casted only short people to further emphasize her height. In real life, she would not be weird. like you had to make this scenario that simply would not exist. You're telling me that nobody at your high school is near 6 foot tall? I'm trying to remember my high school experience. I was probably the tallest girl, if I recall correctly, but I wasn't the tallest by some crazy amount. Like, there were girls that were 5'10", 5'11". My height, though I was tall, wasn't so tall that it was strange. And I'm maybe like a half an inch shorter than this chick. Also, they kind of make a point that she dwarfs all the men in your school too, like all the boys. Huh? Like, again, y'all don't have a basketball team? I was by no means the tallest person in the school, right? Because there was a whole basketball team of people that were 6'3" and upwards. Do y'all just not play sports? Your entire school just don't play sports? But it had to be made that this is so strange in order for this to even be a movie and for her to have a coming to Jesus moment where she learns to love herself. But in real life, this would not be a scenario where she would be oppressed. It'd be different if they made her like 7 foot. Like, right? Because 7 foot is tall for anybody. Presumably a movie that's supposed to be appealing to young girls who are on the taller side. And just because I never had a whole lot of hang-ups about my height at that age doesn't mean that other girls didn't. But that's the wrong color. So like, if I were watching this as a high school student or middle school student that was particularly uncomfortable with my height, this movie would have made it so much worse. Because again, in order to drive home that her height is so abnormal, even though it is not, they made people react in a way that was just so weird to me. Like, her dad has this weird fear that she's gonna continue. This is such the wrong color. Wow. It's cool. We gonna fix it with concealer. It'll be fine. See, my foundation, does it ever match? No. Maybe the first minute or so, you do a flashback where her dad is considering giving her drugs to stunt her growth at 3 years old, even though it can have some really bad health defects. Like, it could make her completely infertile when she gets older. And he's like, I think that's still kind of worth it. I think the issue isn't that she's tall. I think the issue is that she has abusive parents. Like, I think we need to unpack that one a little bit more. But he's like short, because again, if she's supposed to be 6'1", he's like thoroughly looking up at her. And I'm like, maybe you're just short, my dude. I don't think this is her problem. This is definitely yours. We gonna put a crap ton of concealer. We gonna conceal. Story of my life, my foundation ain't right, but it's cool because the finishes. And then they have like every day she goes to school and people do that tired ass, oh, how's the weather up there? And it's like, she's a junior. She's been going there for 3 years. Her height does not shock people anymore. Like in real life, when people see a tall girl, they're like, oh, wow, you're tall. Cool. That's it. The next time you see her, she's still tall. That did not change. So there's no reason to bring it up again. Still up here. The weather's still the same. Like, I'm genuinely sitting here trying to think, like, back in high school, did I ever get ripped on for being tall? No, I got ripped on for being weird, dude. And then I was sitting there thinking, like, is it a generational thing? Was this like written by somebody that like was a tall girl a long time ago and doesn't realize that no one cares anymore? And then I asked my mom, who is in her 60s and is also a tall woman. She was like, nope, that crap didn't happen. I was like, okay. My sister, who is like 7 years older than me. What about you? Nope. I don't know what scenario you gotta be in where the most like ostracized person in your school, it's because she's tall. Like again, she's a tall, thin, conventionally pretty wealthy girl, by the way. I was looking at her house. I'm like, I don't know what real estate is like in Louisiana. It might be cheaper, but a house like that in Michigan, running you a cool few mil, and she's so oppressed. And then there's just these lines that are written again to further cement this scenario that would not happen. You think you have a hard life? I wear a size 13 men's shoe in Nikes. You think you have it bad? And I'm sitting there like, people are dying, Jodi. Now, with that said, when I said I was going to be reviewing this movie, I did see a few people in the comments, and people were like, yeah, oh my god, I love the movie. It really spoke to me. And I was trying to figure out, like, what would it be? Like, what is the thing that would have spoke to someone? Because maybe I'm just missing it. And admittedly, I probably just had a different upbringing, and maybe it depends on the city or the type of students that go to your school. I don't know. I feel like the only part that was pretty accurate is the in relation to dating and finding guys taller than you. So let's unpack that a little bit. Like I said, she ends up liking this dude pretty much solely because he was taller than her. Which, girl, accurate. Well, I can only speak for myself. As a tall woman, I tend to be attracted to guys that are significantly taller than me. Now, I don't know why other people are like that, but the reason I'm like that is because short dudes get on my last nerves. No offense to my short kings. If you're not one of these people, then it's fine. It's not that I'm not attracted to shorter men. I'm attracted to a whole lot of shorter men. The problem is when a short man is attracted to you as a tall woman. They just do the most. They just do a lot. And that was pretty accurately portrayed in this movie because, like, honestly, Dunkelman was just doing a whole lot unnecessary. He ended up being cool by the end, but, like, I feel like as tall women, we tend to just say, well, he's tall. And that's it. There you go. As if that's, like, the only criteria. It's like, wow, I don't have to look down at him. There you go. And in fairness, I've been guilty of this my whole life. So it's not like I'm trying to read. I'm just saying. With that said, the whole, like, I think it was the beginning scene. Like, she stands up and the guy is like, oh. Well, if he's that much shorter than you at 6'1", then he just short. Like, it wasn't like he was normal height and you're abnormally tall, right? He's just short. So maybe he has his own hangups about that. But at the end of the day, that ain't your problem, you know? But like I was saying, the most aggressive dudes that have ever come after me have been short as hell. Not kind of short. They were super short. Did I ever tell y'all the story? Did I ever tell y'all the story about the South African dude that kept following me. Like, I met him at the beginning of a trip to Korea, and then I met him at the end of a trip to Korea, real cyclical. And he was just doing the most. Maybe for another time. But but like feeling like we have to limit what we do in an effort to like appeal to men. I guess I kind of get that one, but maybe it's just because I haven't been a teenager in a few years that I'm just in here like, for what? But I understand, like, if you're in that like awkward time of your life and it's like everything just feels awkward and you feel like you stand out and you don't really want to. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm quite the, well, I can't do nothing about it, so who cares type person. I never really fixated on my height. I'm like, it just is what it is. I have, out of curiosity, said, I wonder what my life would be like if I were short. But to be honest with you, I could care less. It's kind of nice just having a constant conversation piece. Like, yeah, I'm tall. But yeah, like if I felt insecure, I feel like this movie just made more situations that didn't exist where I need to be insecure again. Or insecure in a new way. My parents, do they want me to get like something done so I'm not tall anymore? Also, I find that weird too. Like, what is the likelihood that your parents are going to be really short and you're just very tall? I'm not saying that's not possible, but like, how often does that happen where a girl in particular gets really tall just out of nowhere? Like, my dad's 6'1", my mom's 6 foot, so now both me and my sister are 6 foot. Like, it's just like how genetics generally works, but okay. Which I guess in that particular situation, that would make me feel more insecure, because it's like, well, damn, I just got hit with it. But at the end of the day, it's like, oh, okay, it is what it is. So there that is. There's my like main gripe with this movie, is that it created a scenario that simply would not exist. If she's 6'1", she wouldn't be standing out that much, and therefore she would not be bullied for being slightly taller than other people that would be tall in the school. Unless like everyone is mad calcium deficient, unless everybody got hit with like mad kwashiorkor, I don't understand why her height is so strange. Y'all mad calcium and protein deficient. Like, I was watching it thinking like, I can tell this was not written and probably not directed by a tall woman. Now, I can't say so much about the direction, but it was directed by a black woman, which kind of leads other small qualms I have about the movie. Makes that make more sense. How do I put this? The movie is set in Louisiana, right? Obviously, it being set particularly in New Orleans, there's gonna be black people at the school. However, I was watching that movie thinking like, y'all threw black people into really random situations. Random, but we'll just have moments where you're like, we gotta put black people in this because we just have to. Perfect example, there's like a scene completely gratuitous and out of the way where it's just the all black dance team is dancing in the hallway. It's not an all black school, so like, why is there no other ethnicities dancing? It was just weird to me. I don't know. I was just like, no white girls wanted to join the dance crew. I mean, it's possible, but I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird. Also, like, why am I seeing this? There was the whole dance thing was completely, had nothing to do with anything. I was just like, okay, y'all dancing, cool. But the one that stuck with me most, I think, was the fact that Dunkelman, that's his name, that's his last name, is Dunkelman, has a random black mom. Like, and we never got any explanation for that. Is he adopted? Is that his stepmom? Does his dad just have some real mad strong genes? Like, I don't know, but we just never got any explanation for that. He's just like, hey mom. I could tell that the movie was probably written with complete and utter erasure of black people in Louisiana or in New Orleans. And so the director came in, was like, wait a second, there needs to be more black people here. But then it was kind of done kind of crappily, kind of shoddily, so it looks like it kind of came out of nowhere. That's just my suspicion. Speaking of the writer of the movie, again, going back to my suspicion of this not being written by a tall woman, I could not be more correct because it was written by a man. And the moment I saw that, I was like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. A man would have no idea kind of the truly annoying parts about being a tall woman. It's the end of the world. And it's like, it's not. It's really not. Like, it's a little inconvenient. It's hard finding pants. The things that make it hard, quote unquote, to be a tall woman are ultimately generally the things that make it hard to be a tall person in general. To be a tall woman specifically, the thing that's probably the most accurate is that whole like wanting to date someone taller than you thing. I don't think of that as that big of a hang up. Maybe that's just because maybe I'm just weird, but I never thought of it as that big of a deal. Like, yeah, I'm attracted to dudes that I can see, like, face to face. But the way people were acting is like, it's a fate worse than death to date a dude that's shorter than you, and it's a fate worse than death to be a tall girl. Like, the whole film just feels like they ran out of people to oppress, like, at this school. Like, we can't oppress any of the people that we used to oppress for, like, race or sexuality or socioeconomic status, so we just found a tall girl. It's like, what? That color is ugly. Okay. That too is also ugly. Okay. Just no saving this one. Okay. I'm a magician. I got that to match. Yes. I guess to summarize, I'll just say this. The main problem I have with this movie is that it kind of created scenarios that simply would not exist in real life, all in order to make her feel like more of an anomaly. The thing is, if I were truly an insecure teenager, you creating more situations where I feel different just to solve them wouldn't help. Because to me, it's just like, oh, you came up with more ways that I didn't even think of, that I'm a weirdo. Making a whole set with tiny freaking shelves and tiny people just to further cement that she's tall? I don't know, man. It left a bad taste in my mouth. Because admittedly, if you would have cast a person that was 6'6", because there's not a whole lot of dudes that are 6'6", let alone women. So when you get higher than like 6'4" as any person, but particularly as a woman, this would kind of make more sense. Or Shaq, like she's 7'2" or whatever, walking around at 16. Yeah, she's probably had a pretty hard upbringing, because she significantly stands out in a way that a lot of people, not just women, but particularly women, don't stand out. So I get it, how she could have more of a difficult upbringing. But at 6'1", like... Just for clarification, though, I realized I didn't really finish this thought here. And not that it's okay for people to bully you the taller you get. That would not make sense for me to be like, yeah, you know, if they get any taller than that, yeah, you know, you need to bully them to teach them they did something wrong, I guess. I don't know. My point is that they're acting like this person is so much taller than average. I have family members that are 6'1". None of them have been like, nah, girl, my life is horrible because I'm 6'1". It is kind of hard to find shoes, but nowadays there's a lot of drag stores around, so you should check it out. And they're not as ugly as those bedazzled shoes she was walking around in. I feel like there should be a name for this, like bad movies in a beat. Anyway, if you like this video and at all found it interesting, or have other bad movies that I should watch, I was really thinking about rewatching Twilight, talking about all the great music that was on their soundtrack, and to this day, it's one of the best soundtracks ever. However, it was for that movie. Granted, I haven't seen it basically since it came out, so I'm curious. I thought it was pretty bad when I was like 13, so I can only imagine how bad I think it is now. Let me know if you'd be interested. And I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, both of which are KennieJD, and I will see you guys next time.